Okay, welcome to AAPC Social Hour for July 27th, 2022. And it's a sunny day in Salt Lake City. It's super hot. And I've got my friends from the AAPCCA Board of Directors with us today. And Brenda Stevens leads that group. You're the president, right, Brenda?
Yes, I am the chair.
Oh, the chair.
The
All right.
chair of the wonderful AAPC Board of Directors.
And is this your first year as chair?
It is. It is my first year as chair. Very exciting year.
But not your first year on the BOD?
No, this is my third year on the Board of Directors.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And how has that changed? I mean, I obviously many more responsibilities for sure, huh?
Many more responsibilities, but and I have a wonderful group of ladies. My vice chair is on today, as long as a Region 8 representative and a Region 3 representative. And we just represent the local chapters. We're here for that. Yeah. There will generally there are 8 regions and 2 representatives per region.
Okay, doing so much good for our local chapters.
Yes.
You know, Brenda, last night, Marty and I met with the Palo Alto chapter. We did a little recording with them.
Okay.
They were our chapter, as you know, our chapter of the year last year. And it's exciting to hear what makes them successful. And I hear myself in there we go. Okay, someone got it. I could hear myself on someone's recording. All right, you guys. Well, there we go. I see Donna Lines, who's joining us from Denver. Donna, we will be in Denver next week. Well, I will be. Who from the BOD here will be in Denver with me?
I will.
Well, I'll be there.
Yeah,
all right.
We just can't wait to see everybody in person. This is exciting.
Yes, it's going to be great, especially after missing or having HealthCon be virtual.
Right.
It's going to be great to be back together. Let's see here. Now, Donna, will you be at our regional conference in Denver? Let us know. I know Lori Jaramillo will, and she has joined us. Yep, Donna says she will be there. So Donna, say hi, reach out to any of us who are there. We'd love to meet you and get to know you. We've got, let's see, Stacy Padilla from Mandeville, Louisiana. Hello, Stacy. Thanks for joining us. Stacy, tell us about yourself. What certifications do you have? How long have you been an AAPC member for? We'd love to hear and learn about you. Nydia Bird from Edgemont, Arkansas. I hope I said your name right, Nadia. Let us know about yourself. Are you currently a coder or are you a student? I'd love to learn about you. Now, Brenda, would you kind of take us around and introduce these wonderful BOD members that we have with us?
We have Robin Gowdy, who is the current vice chair, and she serves Region 1. And we also have Debbie DePriest, who is one of our BOD representatives serving Region 8, along with Nicole Snyder from serving Region 3.
There's my hand.
Our hardworking ladies for our local chapters.
So what do you guys have up your sleeves? What is there a focus right now with the BOD that chapters can look out for?
Well, absolutely. Right now, we're all excited because we will be in Denver live, and we are having a officer appreciation event there. So we're gearing up for that. And any officer that's on, please, it is an in-person event. Please register and come have a few hours with us, share with us, as we appreciate you for all the hard work and sustained support that you give throughout the year for our local chapter members.
Okay. And I'm curious, do we have any chapter officers watching right now? It usually takes a little bit of time for everybody to enter our Facebook lives, but if you're a local chapter officer, let us know. And
Yeah.
if you're going to be attending our Denver Regional Conference next week, let us know. And we also have Sophia from our events team who is looking to hop in and share a little bit about what's happening with Denver. But real quick, Stacy Padilla, she says she's been a member of AAPC and a CPC since 2005. She is also a CCASC. She currently works for 7 bariatric surgeons. Wow. All right, Stacy. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for sharing a little bit about yourself. Kathy Parkhurst has joined, and she says she's the current treasurer, past president, vice president, and member of development. So very involved with her chapters, and really local chapters are the heart and soul of AAPC. Wouldn't you say, Brenda?
I would, yes. It's what sets the AAPCCA sets us apart from other organizations.
Absolutely. And exams wouldn't happen without our wonderful chapter officers and chapters proctoring those exams and really being a gateway into many people's journeys into the business of healthcare. All right. Well, we're going to bring Sophia on right now and hear what she has going for our Denver Regional Conference. Here she comes. Sophia, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can't see you. Oh, there you are. Hey, you're in the office. You're in the national office.
I'm in the AAPC headquarters.
Awesome. We don't see that.
The palette for regional, so we got stuff here. It's got to get ready to go. So.
Well, I know you've been very busy stuffing bags, getting things shipped out. Tell us what it's like behind the scenes as you prepare for a conference.
There is a lot that goes into it. A lot of, what do we want to send? Where do we need to send to? What needs to be included? What information is important for everybody who is attending, and how do we want to get them excited to be coming? So we put a lot of thought, takes months and months in preparing and getting designs made and everything. And then you have to get it all printed and then organized to go out to everyone individually. The shipping it, back before COVID, we would just pack it on site and you'd come up to registration and get your name badge. Now we have to, it's a little bit of added complication because we kind of want to still make it a little bit, less contact. So we still ship everything in advance, including your name badges if you're coming on site. So you don't want to send the wrong name badge to the wrong address. So you gotta be a little bit, conscientious of what's going out and where. So there's a lot of work that goes into it, but it's pretty fun. This is the exciting part about planning conferences. Everything's all relative until you start to get the material, and then it goes out and you're like, oh, we're there. It's going into action. Everything's happening.
Sophia, I feel like you came aboard like right in the craziest time with the pandemic. I think you may have had a conference or two prior to the pandemic, but a lot of your efforts over the last few years have been trying to navigate around what's happening globally.
Yeah.
And how does that affect us now for Denver next week, or does it at all?
It does. I mean, COVID's still around, and I started in August of 2020. So the pandemic was still in full effect, and we had a virtual, we were supposed to be in Denver in 2020. So this is the rescheduled event, actually. We held our regional virtually that year. So we're finally going and, navigating those contract changes with the hotel and working through, what you planned 2 years ago. How do we still make it successful and, want it to be as relevant as it is now as it was then, and keeping everything in place and still making it safe and fun for everybody. So, there are some protocols we still have to keep in place, like contactless as much as possible. But, I think that people, we're almost 3 years into this, I think people are excited to have the opportunity to get back together again in person and see each other face to face. There's something special about it. So that the virtual conference, I mean, we are doing a hybrid event, so we do still have virtual attendees, which is awesome. And it gives people who can't travel or don't want to or aren't comfortable yet the opportunity to still be able to experience it and get the education and have fun with it virtually. But nothing beats an in-person event. I just think that we're all excited to be able to have another one.
Well, we were able to sneak in a few in-person events during the pandemic. Our last one being our Charleston, South Carolina regional event last year. It was so much fun. And it's been a year since we've had that. So it'll be great to get back. Now, I know the AAPCCA Board of Directors in the past have had a huge hand in helping out with logistics on site. Brenda, how will you and the board of directors be helping at conference this year?
Well, we're going to be doing temperature checks this year and just kind of generally helping out with the event in any capacity that we're needed.
Okay. All right. Because I remember in the past, the BOD would help with bag stuffing, but that's happening. That has already happened, Sophia, right?
Yeah, it's done. Well, we bring stuff for anybody who registers last minute or forgot their badge or, so we'll have stuff on hand on site.
Okay.
And still be available. If, that's one of those things we have, everybody on the BOD there and everybody on the National Advisory Board there. And so we've got helping hands in every direction. So we can, say, hey, do you mind popping in over here to help us? And stepping in. That's part of the fun of being at conference,
Yes. Absolutely. Well, Lori Jaramillo is saying she didn't get her name badge with her swag bag or her after party tickets. Lori, just come up, meet with us when you get there. We'll get you taken care of and all of that sorted out. You're in good shape. But yeah, so Sophia, tell us about next week. What can we expect? And I especially want to hear about the after hours party because those have become quite the fun events.
So I mean, we've got a couple things starting off Wednesday with Alex. You'll be our very first session hosting our Health Gun Rookies right before Bevan comes on with his State of AAPC address with the conference welcome. Starting off Wednesday morning, and it's going to be full force the rest of the week through Friday. We've got our welcome reception on Wednesday night after breakouts, where everybody will have a chance to meet with our awesome exhibitors and have a little bit of fun and get a chance to get together and chat with everyone you haven't maybe seen in a few years or so, if you're coming back to a conference for the first time. And so there's a lot of fun planned with that. And then Thursday, all day sessions. We got awesome lineup of speakers back to back all day with our, we'll have our E&M panel on Thursday morning. And we also have a couple of other really great panel sessions and general session, and then awesome breakouts that really dig into every topic you can think of within our field. And the after hours event, which we've done 2 of them now. We did one in Dallas, which we called the Hoedown Throwdown, which was really fun. It had line dancing and a live country music band. That was awesome. Charleston, we did a 1920s theme dinner and all that jazz with jazz band and dancing and super fun. Everybody seems to gotten really into the themes, dressing up in the 20s outfits and the country music style. It was really fun. So this year we decided, to go more 70s. We were inspired by, John Denver, like being in Denver. So we're calling it the Colorful Colorado Celebration. And so everybody this year will be all dressed up in 70s, so pull your bell bottoms and your platforms out and any of your disco jazz. We're going to have a karaoke and light up dance floor and dinner and drinks to go around. So it'll be a super fun event. That one's awesome. I think it's great for, staff comes, the board comes, the National Advisory, with all the attendees. It's a place to kind of almost let your hair down and get to know each other personally and just have fun without the pressure of networking in such an intense environment. It's a way to network and really grow friendships and build your bond with your other AAPC members.
Sophia, I'm curious about the venue. So this is the Gaylord in Denver. Um, looks like a
Gaylord
beautiful,
Rockies, yeah.
okay. It looks like a beautiful resort. Is there anything that comes to mind about it? I guess I'd imagine because it is so big, lots of walking to get to different areas.
It's not as bad as like Vegas, you know. It is one of the nice things about these Gaylord properties. We've been to a few of them with our conferences now. Everything's on one location. So you're not crossing streets and going to other crazy locations. You come down the elevator and then walk down the convention hall. So it is close. There's 5 restaurants on site. There's an awesome outdoor pool, which being in August, it's going to be really hot in Denver. And if you're not from the west and you're not used to the elevation, you're going to want as much hydration as you can possibly get, because it is a mile high. We're up there, and you're closer to the sun, so bring some sunscreen if you're going to the pool for sure. But the pool's really, really great. It's huge. It's got some awesome cabanas. There's a lazy river. It's, if you can make time to make it to the pool in the hot sun, it's worth it. But yeah, the restaurants are great. You don't even have to leave the resort because everything you would possibly need is there. So that's one really nice thing about this location. But it is a little out of, it's not in like Denver proper, downtown Denver. So it's a trek to get downtown, but Denver's such a fun city. If you have time to make it down there, grab a drink somewhere in town or go to dinner, it's such a cute, and there's a lot of history and a lot of cool things to see. So
Awesome.
and
Awesome.
we're from Salt Lake, Alex, so we're used to real mountains here, but
Yes.
the
Yes.
Denver mountains are really pretty. You see them in a distance when you're there, so it's really cool. If you're not from that area, it's a fun thing to see.
Yes. And for our BOD co-hosts and guests today, what do you look forward to most about Denver? Is there anything that you look forward to seeing, or attractions, or maybe you're just going to be on the lazy river at the resort afterwards?
That's what I look forward to. I've heard so much about this lazy river. So
Right.
I'm very interested at what this is about. I've pulled up the website so many times. So I'm very excited to see what's all there to offer. It just looks so family friendly too.
The resort is very family friendly, which, I think our member base, appreciates that. Like with the
Yes.
conference, you go to your meetings, you have your professional setting, and then you get to go off and have your fun, family oriented,
Yes.
friendly
Yeah.
fun on the
Yes.
resort. So
Mhm.
I look forward to seeing networking and seeing people who I've met over previous conferences that live maybe out west or on the East Coast, and we don't get to see each other. And then we meet at conference, and it's so much fun. I think that's my
Agreed.
best memory.
Debbie, as you say that, I just think about how how it brings everybody together, and it really brings the organization to life, because it is about the people.
Right.
And I know we are in a digital age, but there's still nothing beats being face to face with our
Right.
friends, and it really makes you see how special this organization is.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Alex, when you said these conferences and being in person together. It just kind of brings the organization to
Right.
life. Being with people that are in the same field as you, and just the networking and just the love and the closeness that we all have for one another. It's just wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nicole, what are your thoughts? I'm not going to let you get away without being quiet. Okay.
Without saying anything. Well, I've never been to
Whatever.
Denver. So I've been to the airport, but I've never stayed in Denver. And so I'm looking forward to the scenery in general, and hoping to get some extra free time because I'm going early to do some sightseeing while I'm there. But as far as conference goes, I remember how I felt the first time I went to a conference. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing those people who are first timers and their faces and how they feel about their interactions, and all the people they're going to meet, and the ones they'll hear speaking, the information they get, the information overload that you get sometimes, because there's so much information that you can get So I'm excited to see all the newbies.
Yes, yes. You know, Nicole, last year in Charleston, in the newbie session, there was a student who they weren't even a coder, an official coder yet or certified. And that just gave me chills to see someone who they are so set on making this their career path, and how intimidating it might be to be with all of these professionals who've been doing this for decades, but they wanted to take advantage of any possibility or opportunity to network, get to know people that could lead to their first job, and of course the learning. And that's what I love too, is there are so many sessions, and they are not all for the hardcore, you know, veteran coder. There's something for everybody
Right.
there.
Mhm.
Even me, a non-coder, I've been in sessions where I'm like, wow, this is interesting and super fun.
Our education committee does a really great job of keeping a well-rounded
Excellent,
agenda
yes.
every time. So
Yeah.
they do an excellent job. That, I mean, and the best part about attending any conference, I just think the education itself is awesome, but it's inspiring to, you know, it kind of puts you on this motivation train of like, oh my gosh, you're right. I could go this way. I could do that. I could, you know, it just opens up your mind a little bit. And you talk to people who have made, maybe you've considered going one route. You talk to someone who did that, and it pushes you in the direction where you might want to go next. So it's just got this awesome, it's not only fun and educational, and also puts you in this mindset to just, where can I go next? Sky's the limit.
Right.
So
Well, Lori and Donna, who are watching this broadcast, this will be their first conferences. We look forward to meeting you,
Yeah.
and just
Absolutely.
sharing this awesome experience in Denver with you. Sophia, you are in the thick of it right now. I'm sure you're stressed out of your mind trying to get everything
you know,
planned.
I'm keeping it together.
Thank
Good.
you.
You look composed, but I know
That's
what's going
good.
on back there. Yeah. But we look forward to seeing you. Sophia, when do you head out?
I arrive on Sunday, so I'll get there a few days before the event actually starts so we can set up. So
Okay. Well, I'll see you on Tuesday evening, and all of us will see you there. If you're watching, and this is for our BOD guests as well, when you see Sophia, you know, give her knuckles or high fives, whatever she prefers,
Absolutely.
and just let her know, you know, just I'm sure the appreciation is helpful to keep you going, Sophia. Yeah.
yeah,
All
I
right.
love doing it. Planning events is, I don't think there's any other job I would love to do as much. So I the stress comes with it, and it's fun. So
Awesome. Okay, we'll see you next week. Have a safe trip, Sophia.
See
you
you
too.
next
See you
week.
guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Sophia.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm
We are
excited.
excited.
Yes. We're gonna have a great time.
Yes.
I'm
I'll
gonna have
see y'all-
so many Shirley Temples, Brenda. Woo, it's gonna be crazy.
Okay, let's do
Yes.
it.
Well, Brenda, why don't you lead us through your discussion? What do you have up your sleeve for the rest of our presentation here, or time here?
Well, we decided to talk about today. We want to touch a little bit on proctoring as our subject matter today. So if anybody has any questions on the proctoring, or I can have the ladies lead you through the proctoring process, and then we can take questions on that. So Robin, Nicole, or Debbie, if you want to talk about the proctoring process.
Hey,
that
and
would be
before
fantastic.
before you even go into that, explain what is, because let's assume that there are people who are watching that don't even know what proctoring is, or why a local chapter would proctor.
Okay. Look at it like this. Just imagine how you get your certifications to be certified, to be a certified coder, inpatient, outpatient, risk adjustment, in anything, auditor.
Mhm.
An officer has to take a moment, take their free time to volunteer, to oversee, to make sure you get the time, the space to take that exam. So without our officers volunteering their free time, there will be no certified coders. So that's one thing I love about officers. They give their time. So the process is how it all begins. You register with the AAPC. for the exam of your choice. All of this is scheduled. We set up a place for people to come and do the exam. Now, thank goodness it's 4 hours. So you're not sitting all day for your exam. Instructions are given to you, by email, as well as the day before. You may get not the day before, a few days before, you may get an email from the proctor instructing you what to do, where to go, if you have any questions, a contact information. But once that you get it there and you sit for your exam, the proctors give you all the information as far as when to look for your results. Any questions that you may have, they have the information there for you. And that's just the beginning of it. But without those officers, none of this could be possible.
Yes, and I know officers check books to make sure they're compliant for the exam and make sure phones are put away. There's so many elements to having a successful exam, and to make sure that honesty is taking place within the exam. And this has been the process. And you guys would know better than me, but this has been the process as long as AAPC's been around. Is that right? Like, to take the exam, you have to go to a chapter.
Correct.
Proctoring
Thank you for
site,
that.
yes, that is correct.
Yes, we do. We normally, that's the benefit of having 2 proctors, first and second proctor. We're checking IDs. We're checking your books, any electronic phones, cell phones, watches, anything like that. So we're upholding the integrity of AAPC on all levels, keeping everybody honest. And we trust. It's just not like we're looking for people to be dishonest. No, we trust you, but we want to help you succeed as well.
That's what I love about AAPC is it is members who love the career path and the work in the revenue cycle that are helping others continue or start their journey in that.
Yes.
And I'm sure you guys have seen people take exams and flourish in their careers.
Yes.
Proctoring is just so rewarding, just being there. Proctoring for the exam is just being there with a group of people that want to launch into the career that we're in, or expanding in the career that we're in. And so we're just thankful to have where we can proctor the AAPC exams for our members, the officers to the members, or even to other officers, or to whoever is taking the exam, in just familiar surroundings. You're already nervous when you're coming in to take an exam. And so these are in familiar surroundings, a surrounding in your area, perhaps, where you can sit for the exam.
Yes.
I think too, the examinees, knowing that we have been there in their place, and we can help them try to be as comfortable as possible and as less nervous as we can, because then we tell them, we've been through this ourselves. We know what this feeling is. And I love proctoring, and I like, trying to get them to be able to, excuse me, I'd like to be able to get them to the point where they do feel comfortable. Give them, if they want an extra chair at their table, we're going to provide that extra chair so they can put some books in there or whatever they like, within reason.
And proctoring doesn't just begin at the, proctoring is for the exam, but preparing starts way before that. There are many chapters that have review classes, different review classes. They have review classes for the CPC. They have review classes for the specialty exams as well, and the CRC. So the local chapters are there to support you fully and to set you up for success.
Now, do you have to be a chapter officer to be a proctor?
Okay, so all officers do have to proctor the exam. The first proctor must be a chapter officer.
Okay,
The second proctor can be a chapter member.
awesome. So really anybody who's a member of a chapter can help with this, with the proctoring or exam day.
Can give back, yes. Yeah, that's how I say, give back, like Robin had mentioned earlier. Being there, someone has done it for you.
That's right.
Mhm.
Robin also mentioned that the exam is 4 hours long, and that's a recent change. Up until last year, or at the end of last year, it changed to, well, it was 5 hours and what, 20 minutes or so?
5 hours
40.
and 40 minutes.
40 minutes, okay. And so that's made it a little easier, or, you know, it gives you an hour back of your time in preparation for that.
And
Hey,
then
I'm
we do have chapters that proctor, now that they're 4 hours, chapters have proctored 2 exams on a Saturday.
I'm curious, what are some of the traits of those of successful examinees? Like, do you notice patterns from people who seem to take their exams and seem to be comfortable and organized? I don't know if you've noticed things from examinees that may be successful, help them be successful.
I've seen, so I always talk about this one, the funniest thing I've seen where someone had their table all set up like a bingo hall with all the lucky traits. That was just the funniest thing to me. But I've seen the CPC. I see a lot of people come in and they're so prepared. A lot of times they're overly prepared. You know, they'll come in with 3 years books. Like, you really don't need that,
That's,
but
yeah,
you give them what they need.
yeah, I've
But-
seen that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to be successful, yeah, I would say what I've seen for successful candidates are, you know, just have current year books.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
How about faux pas? Like, what are some things that you're like, I can't believe someone came into the exam with this or that, or trying to get things in, and maybe it was just a misunderstanding. But what kind of things are common things that someone should know that they cannot bring in that you may have seen regularly?
I have one of those. A lot of snacky foods. So
Yeah.
someone brought in pretzels and
Mhm.
candy, and I don't even remember everything they had, but they had their table space was covered with snacky foods as well as their books and everything
Yeah.
else. So it was distracting to them as well as the other people in there. Fortunately, they didn't do it for very long, the snacking part, but that person also didn't pass their first attempt with their snacky foods. So, and this has been a long time. It's probably been 15 years since that happened, but it was a lesson I learned to tell test takers, you know, bring just a bare minimum of something. If you feel like you need something, bring something that's quiet to eat, something that is
Right.
easy to eat, and small quantities.
Right.
But sometimes people need food. You need it to
Mhm.
get you through that. Was 5 hours of testing. Now it's not as bad with 4, but still some people just need a little bit of food. So bring something quiet and small. And drinks are always, you know, an option if it's available where you're located. But
Mhm.
I always laugh when I think of that one though, because she had so many snacky foods. I was like, I was hungry watching all the snacks.
It sounds
That's
like the
it.
food became a distraction for herself,
Yes.
right?
Yes. But she was very
And also-
nervous. So I think that was her worry, was she was nervous. She was worried she'd get hungry. She was worried about a lot of things that really, once you start taking the test, they don't matter anymore. Once that clock starts, you forget about all those things.
We actually, in an email that we draft to examinees, we always say quiet snacks. Now, the snacks for her were probably a hindrance to her, but just imagine the other examinees as well.
Mhm.
So we always like to say quiet snacks or open, like if you bring a bag of chips or pretzels, to please open them prior to the exam starting. So you're not ruffling, opening, and just disturbing the other examinees as well.
Tom
I did-
Gooch just left that comment there, Brenda. This is so good timing with that. He says, unwrap it before the test starts.
Before, unwrap before. It's, just to help everybody out.
Yes,
And I
yes.
did see in chat where I think it was Sarah Reagan that said not bringing books. That actually happens more often than not,
Really?
where people just don't come with their set of books. Luckily, there are chapters out here that have a set of books that can be used for the exam. But yes, I have seen that. Have you ladies seen that?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
That would be
Or-
the first thing you'd want to bring, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
Agreed.
Yeah. I had
And-
one that was coming from out of town and they forgot a book or two. So we actually, we called around. I brought my books for her. She
Mhm.
just forgot them, but she was coming from out of town. I couldn't go back and get them. So yeah, it helps.
That might
I
be a
had-
good tip. What's
Go
that,
ahead.
Debbie?
I had one time, they were so nervous, they were chewing on gum and they were blowing the biggest bubbles ever. And they were snapping it and everything. So I had asked them to take the gum out and put it away. But I can understand, somebody just using that as something to be less nervous about. But it was, I mean, the bubbles were huge. I was like, oh my gosh, how can you concentrate?
That's why I don't chew gum while I take exams.
Right.
Not a quiet snack. Not a quiet snack.
We have a few officers, Sarah, Brenda, who you mentioned, and Veronica Villarreal, who say they do try to have extra sets of books on site. So if you're a chapter officer watching this, maybe it's a new presidency. I guess we're halfway through the year, but if you don't have a set, it might be good to pick up a set or two just to have for those
Right.
examinees.
Or have the proctors bring theirs. You never know
Right.
what you're going to experience on that particular day. I also see late arrivals. Yes, that
Yes.
happens more often than not.
A lot.
Yeah.
Tom has an interesting comment. He says, last time I did a book check, I was surprised by some examinees' books being marked up to the max, but others with no markings at all. So if you're a student watching this, you need to know and that you have ability to mark up your books to an extent, and those
Right.
guidelines are on the AAPC website. But I guess, do you guys see that as well? Have you seen books barely marked, if maybe not all?
I have personally never ran into not seeing a book marked up. I have not.
I've seen
Yeah.
both, and then flagged so many pages, so many flags sometimes on their pages that I think I couldn't function with that many flags
Yes,
on the book.
exactly.
But some people do
Yeah.
really well with that. So it really just depends on the person. It's not my style, but it may
Right.
work wonders for someone else.
I would say whatever was working for you on AAPC practice exams should translate to the real exam.
Yes.
So just stick with that routine and you should be in good shape if you're successful with the practice.
Yeah, I agree. And I do agree with Kathy. I think she just said that too much marking is not good. And I do, on some level, I do agree with that, because you spend too much time looking for what you have marked and not actually the content that you should be looking for. But again, it just goes back to your comfort level as well.
Yes, yes. What advice would you guys give to proctors as far as, because we talked about bringing an extra set of books for examinees who may have left them at home. Are there other things that a proctor team may want to have on hand that could be helpful to examinees on exam day?
I think extra pencils.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was gonna say extra
Pencil
Always.
sharpener.
And a
Yeah.
pencil
Yes,
sharpener.
good idea, sharpener.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Possibly, I would do maybe a ruler or maybe a page magnifier for
Right.
somebody.
Yes.
Yeah, because when we're getting into like the neoplasm table or the table of drugs and chemicals, or maybe your eyes are just getting tired
Yes.
and you just
Mhm.
need it bigger. Bottles of water is what I see.
yes,
Yes, so just helping with any possible way that's reasonable that a
I just
proctor can help. Yeah.
just thinking ahead to any snafu that you can think that may happen, be prepared for it.
Yes.
That
coffee.
is the pencils and the pencils. Going back to things that you haven't seen, I've seen people come to exams without pencils.
Yes.
Right,
Mhm. So having having those pencils and those pencil sharpeners.
And I still think we're in the days of needing masks.
mask and
So it
sanitizers.
Yes.
won't hurt to
Good
have
one.
those on hand.
Mhm.
Yeah, we actually wipe down all the tables with
Mhm.
Lysol
Before-
disinfectant before they come, and yeah,
I see
And
coffee, yes,
coffee.
for the proctors, or just for everybody.
well, how does a proctor pass their time through a 4-hour exam? I mean, what is your role as everybody is working through their exams, and does that take every minute of the time?
Take that time to make sure I'm up to date on what my instructions for sending my exams
Mhm.
back to headquarters. I make sure, we got the signed in time and our members are prepared and ready and know where to sign out, make sure I've signed my form. So I take that time to read.
I do too.
Yeah, I take that. I read. I bring a book, my laptop. Quiet snacks for me.
No bubble blowing contest, Brenda.
Mm.
I love this comment by Angie Long. She says, our proctor made little bags for each of us with an extra pencil, hard candies, Kleenex, and a bottle of water. It was very nice. I think that's a very thoughtful proctor.
Very thoughtful.
That's neat. And I would
Yeah.
say a successful examinee will make a successful coder because they are well prepared, have everything. Even before the exam day, they will have all of their ducks in the row.
Mhm.
Sarah Reagan mentioned in the comments above that she's had people call her the day of trying to find the exam site.
Mhm.
So this covering all of your bases, being an investigator and completely engrossed in having all of your boxes checked before the exam day itself.
I agree. And going back to having them on the exam day, my recommendation is, especially if you have to travel to an area that you're not familiar with, find that site the night before.
Yes.
Yeah,
There are no
definitely.
breaks given during the CPC, Kim. The time will continue anytime you do take a break. I've had people take smoke breaks or restroom breaks, and no, that doesn't stop the clock for you. You just continue taking your exam.
Right. I can't imagine taking a smoke break.
I have had them do that.
And I've seen examinees figure out down to the minute how much time they have on each question. This kind of came up a lot as we moved from the 5 hours, 40 minutes to 4 hours. And people were like, well, you've got 2 minutes or a minute, whatever, per question. And every one of those breaks that you may take for
Mhm.
restroom or just a stretch decreases the time per question.
Mhm,
Oh, yes, it does. Mhm.
mhm.
So that's why I can't imagine even just like a smoke break, a quick bathroom break. Yeah.
Right.
But I can't imagine, just a smoke break.
Yeah.
Because
think
now your
it's-
time decreases.
Yes, I think it's all part of the nervousness.
Right.
Because, can you imagine, you're all prepared and you do all of that before you get there. If you eat a good breakfast before you leave, that might take you throughout the whole time. If you use the ladies' room, men's room that might hold you. And then you're doing very little drinking of coffee and water.
Mhm.
It may hold you. I think a lot of times it's the nervousness.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I do too.
Now, after an exam ends, you guys, you have all of these answers and people's careers in your hands, as they look for that next step of to be certified and find employment. How does that work? Because I know after the Charleston conference last year, I was with Marty and she had an envelope full of exam. I felt like I was her bodyguard protecting those exam results or those exams. Like, tell me about the responsibility of managing all of the answer sheets from examinees after the exam has ended. What's that process like?
Well, I am, after they have sealed up everything, I know that is, like you mentioned, that's a huge responsibility.
Mhm.
I am running to FedEx.
That's
Yeah.
what I say. I go
Yeah.
to FedEx first
That's,
thing,
I'm leaving the testing site and that is my,
Get them out of your
First step.
hands.
right?
yes, yes, because they want their test results. The sooner it can get in the system to at least, I know when I was taking exams, just to see tracking, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
It has been
Just
accepted
on
by
the way.
FedEx.
Right.
Mhm, yes. So I am running to FedEx. It's not riding around in my car. Well, we have 24 hours. But no, I am running to FedEx.
Yes.
Yeah, Lori said she went straight to FedEx to mail them ASAP. Yes. I don't think anybody wants that responsibility
Right.
of holding it. Mhm.
That's one of the things I do before when I'm proctoring. I go figure out who's open after the exam's over, and I can go deliver them in person and be done. And
Right.
I know that I've done what I need to do, and hopefully they get somewhere by Monday so that they can start having that update. It's been received, and it can reassure the testies that they have actually, it's gone where it's supposed to go. It didn't get lost. No one misplaced it. I mailed it. They don't have to worry about it.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's
not
one of
only
my
are the examinees under pressure, we are too.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's one of my prior day preparation. I'm Googling where's the
Mhm.
closest FedEx office so I can get right there.
Oh boy. I think, I would be taking videos of myself. See, this is, I really did it. I really sent them in, you guys. So.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get a tracking slip, so I
Mhm.
know
Oh,
that,
yeah.
Mhm.
everything is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm keeping track of that as well. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
There's a good comment from Amanda Perry Owens. She says, I appreciated that my proctor would count down the time. She'd gently say 3 hours remaining after an hour had passed. And do you guys set up I guess there may be a clock in the room, but
Mhm.
how much do you remind examinees of the time left?
Normally asked at the beginning what
Yeah.
they prefer, and we do what they prefer.
Okay.
Yeah.
We might go down every hour and then
Right.
30 minutes,
Mhm.
15, but that's normal. But we
Yeah,
do ask.
generally, I do ask, yeah, because
Yes.
whereas I may like the every hour countdown, it may make somebody else really nervous. So you have to find for everybody in the room, just a common ground. If everyone doesn't like it, maybe halfway through.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Now we're seeing
That was a good point.
we are seeing exams, well, CPC anyways, being available online, but I don't think that will change the chapters being able to host exams. I think
Right.
we will always rely on our local chapters for that and much more to, really, as we mentioned before, local chapters are the heart and soul of AAPC and really keeps us all connected. So there is that option, but there's something also about being at an exam site and being with a group of other examinees that's completely focused on that, and that energy of translating to help you focus and perform better on your exam. That might work better for some than on the online exams.
And I have heard that people do like being in that proctored environment. But the onlines are very successful. I think I would feel comfortable at home. I just don't trust my internet.
Yeah.
Just at the moment I could be finishing up, it probably would crash. Knowing my luck, and I would be,
Right.
So I would definitely always go to a proctored site.
Oh, that would be so gut wrenching, you guys, to be in the middle of your exam and have a internet hiccup
Yeah.
that causes the system to crash or something. Sarah Reagan says, I don't think I'd take an exam any other way than in person. My dogs couldn't deal with being locked out of the room.
So they would be a distraction. They would be noisy.
Yeah. Like the person eating all the treats that are crunching throughout the room, right?
Yeah. So no, I do like the proctored environment and would lean toward that.
Yes. All right.
Yeah,
Well, we've had
definitely.
so many great comments, and I thought for me, it was super enlightening to hear the process, the mentality of a proctor. And I think it's especially important for those watching who may not be a member of their chapter presidency to know that they can team up just as a member of the chapter to proctor an exam and give back to the medical coding community.
Yeah.
I think that's
Great.
super neat. All right. Well, any final thoughts, Brenda, as we wrap up our social hour for today?
Yeah, if we just excited to see everybody, whoever is coming to Denver next week, stop us. We'll be there.
Yes.
Say, hey, I'm always on live. Introduce yourselves. We would love to meet you.
Sure.
Put the face with the name.
That's right. That's right. And maybe they can share their exam experience. Maybe they have seen something crazy as they've taken their exam that they could share with you there. All right.
On the other hand, I think it's also important that we share what we can do better. You know, if there's tips that one chapter does versus another chapter, and that's always fun to learn. How do other chapters make it work as well?
I love that. I love
did
that.
Too. Yeah, that was great.
And we had some great ideas even in this discussion with bringing books, an extra set of books and having pencils. And I loved seeing that some chapter officers are having little survival kits, we'll call them, for their examinees. So many good things happening.
Yeah, so many good things. And I just want to add, next week, if you are coming, your chapter can do posters. We are hosting that event again, which is always a fun event. So come out and do a poster for your chapter.
And Brenda, they need to know that the BOD will be taking over AAPC's Instagram account next Tuesday.
We will be.
So giving a little perspective throughout the day from a member of the BOD, what it's like to be on the BOD, how they help at conference, and what conference is like through their eyes. So looking forward to that. And we'll have a few different takeovers throughout the week. So if you look up AAPC on Instagram, like us there and follow the stories next week, and we will give you some insight. But we'd rather see you there.
Yeah.
We'd rather see you there in person. So if you're there in person, say hi. If you are thinking, I can't make it out to Denver, I wish I could watch and be a part of our HealthCon Denver Regional Conference, you can still register for the virtual conference and be a part of it. I know I had a great time with our national conference that was 100% virtual. We had a lot of fun with that. So we will see you guys there. Robin, Debbie, Nicole, so good to have you guys with us today.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
And Brenda, I'll see you sooner than later.
Yes. I'll
Yeah.
actually be there roaming around on Sunday. So if anybody
Okay.
needs help.
All right. All right. Okay, everybody, thanks for joining us, and we will see you in 2 weeks. And again, check us out on Instagram as we share our experience at our Denver regional conference with you. Bye, everybody.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.